Some women go to prison because they messed up, some because they loved too hard, too blindly. Tina Johnson wasn't the type to run the streets. She wasn't wild. She was careful, steady, the one who kept her mama's house in order while her sister ran the block, the one who worked double shift to keep the lights on and never once asked for credit. But even good girls have a breaking point. And for Tina, that breaking point had a name, Monty. DeMonte Ford had the kind of charm that made you ignore sirens going off in your own chest. A neighborhood Romeo with fast hands and soft lies. But with Tina, he was different, or so she thought. They started as friends, laughed over dollar fries and late-night rides. By 21, they were inseparable. By 24, she was sitting in a courtroom taking a charge that didn't have her name on it. Because love makes fools of the best of us. And loyalty will have you walking straight into a fire that somebody else lit. She thought she'd be out in 3 years, maybe 5. But when the gavel dropped, the number was bigger, much bigger. Still, Tina kept the faith. She held on in silence. No tears, no blame. She told herself, he's waiting for me. He loves me. He has to. But 13 years is a long time. Long enough for some people to move on, to build new lives, to rewrite history like you were never part of the story. And when Tina finally stepped out those gates, she didn't just walk into a changed world. She walked straight into a betrayal that had been growing behind her back like mold in a locked room. The kind of betrayal that doesn't just break your heart, it poisons your soul. She didn't raise her voice, didn't fight, didn't cry. She just remembered, because some debts don't get collected in court. Some heartbreaks don't scream. They plot. And when Tina moved, she moved quiet, calculated, like someone who had nothing left to lose and nothing left to protect. Stick around. Because what happened next? It wasn't loud. It wasn't messy. But it was unforgettable. If you're into true stories that cut deep, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and stay close. This is only the beginning. Fort Worth, Texas. Not the shiny part with glass buildings and fancy boutiques. The other side, the side with chain-link fences, corner stores with dusty windows, and mothers who pray more than they sleep. That's where Tina Johnson grew up, oldest of 3, Mama's right hand. The quiet one who always did what she was told, until she didn't. By the time Tina was 8, she could cook a full meal, braid her baby sister's hair, and balance a food stamp card like a pro. Life wasn't soft, but Tina was solid. Sharp, sweet, strong. The kind of girl teachers loved, neighbors trusted, and her mama leaned on like a cane. She stayed out of trouble, not because she was scared, but because she was too busy holding everything together. Then came Monty. DeMonte Ford, better known on the block as just Monty. He had a grin that could melt ice and eyes that said, "You know better, but here we are." He was the kind of man you saw before you heard. Tall, lean, clean-cut, but dangerous. Monty had been in and out of juvie since he was 15, but his voice? Smooth like butter on toast. That boy could talk a nun out of her last prayer. Tina met him at a cookout one summer when she was 19. He was sipping from a red cup, laughing like life owed him something sweet. They weren't supposed to click, but they did. Quick and easy. Started as jokes, then rides around the city. Long talks at 2 a.m. about dreams that felt too big for the block. He was wild. She was calm. And somehow, they found peace in each other. Monty said she made him want more. Said he was tired of ducking cops, tired of the game. Said, "You different. You make me feel like I could be better." And Tina believed him. By 21, they were living together in a 1-bedroom apartment with a busted heater and a mattress on the floor. But they were happy, or at least Tina was. She worked days at the clinic. Monty picked up shifts here and there, claiming he was staying clean. He still had friends on the street, still took phone calls that made Tina's stomach twist. But every time she asked, he'd kiss her on the forehead and say, "I got us, baby. Trust me." And she did every single time. Then there was Kesha, Tina's baby sister. If Tina was a calm, Kesha was a storm. Loud, bold, always dressed like she had somewhere better to be. Where Tina spent her teenage years babysitting and folding clothes, Kesha was sneaking out windows and coming home with glitter still on her cheekbones. They loved each other, yes, but there was always something under the surface, a tension neither of them would admit. Kesha grew up watching Tina do everything right and still struggle. She hated it, resented it, and though she never said it out loud, Kesha wanted what Tina had. Not the chores, not the hard work, the attention, the admiration, the power of being the good one. When Tina brought Monty around, Kesha was intrigued. She laughed too hard at his jokes, asked too many questions, always had some reason to be in the room when he was near. Tina noticed, but brushed it off. She trusted Kesha. She trusted Monty. They were family, and family doesn't cross lines, right? Still, sometimes Tina would catch a look, one of those sideways glances Kesha gave when she thought no one was watching. Monty never said anything, just played it cool. But something about the way he acted around Kesha, too polite, too distant, it made Tina's gut twitch. She told herself she was imagining things, that it was her own insecurities trying to stir up drama. After all, Monty loved her, said it every night, every morning, called her wifey before anyone else did. But still, something in her spirit whispered, "Pay attention." She didn't, because love makes you blind, and loyalty makes you stupid. Tina's world wasn't perfect, but it was hers. A little apartment, a man she loved, a sister she trusted. She had her routine, her dreams, her place in the world. What she didn't know, what she couldn't see, was that the foundation under her feet was already cracking. And soon, everything she built would fall. Fort Worth nights were changing. The streets felt heavier. The energy around Monty, even heavier. At 24, Tina started noticing the signs. Monty's late nights became later. His phone calls shorter. Conversations thinner. He had new sneakers every other week. Came home with crisp bills folded tight in his back pocket, like money that didn't want to be traced. Tina asked him once, just once, "Where's all this coming from, Monty?" He smiled, kissed her forehead. "I've been helping my boy flip cars. Nothing major. Easy money, baby. I got us." She didn't press. She wanted to believe. Needed to. Because if Monty was lying, then the life she was building had no foundation. And Tina Johnson wasn't the type to build on sand. But some truth comes knocking whether you're ready or not. It was just after midnight. Tina was folding laundry. The TV hummed low in the background. Monty was supposed to be home. She had a feeling. The kind of feeling that starts in your chest and slides down your spine like ice water. Then the knock. Boom, boom, boom. "Police, open up." She barely had time to move before the door flew in like it had been kicked by a freight train. Flashlights, guns, shouting, chaos. They threw her to the floor, face down. She could hear Monty somewhere behind her, yelling, his voice cracking, not the usual smooth. They ransacked the apartment like they already knew what they were looking for, and they found it fast. Behind the coats in the back closet, 2 bricks of cocaine. Under the bed, cash neatly banded, stacked high. On the table, a scale and baggies. Monty was pale, silent, already defeated. And then, just before they separated them, they gave him a moment. Quick, private, no cops in the room. Just him and Tina, her wrist cuffed, her heart racing like a war drum. Monty sat across from her like nothing had changed, still wearing that chain, still holding on a charm like it could save him. "Baby, listen. Listen to me," he said, leaning in close. "This ain't what it looks like. I didn't know they was coming. I didn't think it was going to go down like that." She said nothing. Her face said everything. "Look, they caught you, not me. That means we got a chance. You can fix this for us." Her eyebrows twitched. "You clean, Tina. No record. First offense. They'll go easy on you. 3 years, maybe 5. You hold it down, and I'll hold it down out here. I swear on everything I love. I'll be waiting when you get out." He took her cuffed hands in his like it was a vow. "Please, you got the power to save us. Don't let all this fall apart. Tina sat there still, silent, but inside, she was already breaking. She nodded just once, because love makes you blind and will have you walking into a fire wearing perfume. The next morning, they booked her, fingerprint ink, mugshot, chain around her waist, cuffs on her ankles, like she was dangerous, like she hadn't just sacrificed herself for a man she loved. They asked her to talk. She said it all belonged to her. That Monty knew nothing about it. She even cried in front of the officer, saying she was only trying to make quick cash, because love had rules, and Tina followed them. Even now, in court, she stood tall. Alone, the prosecutor laid everything out. Possession, intent to distribute, conspiracy. Monty nowhere in sight. No letter, no visit, no word. Kesha sat in the back row in sunglasses, legs crossed, lips tight. Her mama cried the whole way through, but the judge didn't flinch. 13 years, Miss Johnson. Just like that. Cold. Final. Not 3. Not 5. 13. When they let her out in shackles, Tina didn't cry. She didn't look back. She'd always been the strong one, the quiet one, the one who carried everything without breaking. But now she was carrying time. Years in silence. The cell was 6 feet wide. 2 concrete walls, 1 toilet, 1 bunk, and time. Endless. Heavy time that never let up. In the beginning, Tina tried to stay grounded. She kept to herself, ate her food, made her bed. She didn't cry the first night, though her chest ached like something had been carved out with a dull spoon. Monty wrote first. Sweet letters, soft promises. I miss you, girl. I'm holding it down out here. Soon as you come home, we start over. You a queen for this. I'll never forget it. She read those notes like scripture, folding them until the creases wore thin. Every letter she reread at night before lights out. Every word was a thread she held on to keep from unraveling. Kesha wrote too. Small, sugary notes, almost too cheerful for prison paper. Hang in there, sis. Monty's doing okay. I'm keeping him focused. You'd be proud. At first, Tina smiled. That was her baby sister. Wild, yes, but still family. Still blood. Still hers. Time moved fast. She learned how to navigate the place. Kept her eyes forward. Never got too friendly. Never got too cold. She was a woman who didn't talk much, but when she did, people listened. She worked in the laundry room folding sheets, pressing uniforms. Later, she worked in the library, her favorite place in that whole frozen world. Read everything she could find. Wrote letters to herself. Wrote to God, too, though some days her faith felt like a dying ember. By the end of year 2, Monty's letters came less often. Shorter, more distracted. Less I love you, more I've been busy. Tina told herself it was the stress. Bills. The world outside. By year 3, they stopped completely. Kesha's notes still trickled in. Still friendly. Still chirpy. But something in the tone, something felt off. Then came year 4. It started like any other day. Breakfast. Roll call. Library shift. Then a CO tapped her shoulder and handed her a letter. No return address, no name, just her name and unfamiliar handwriting. She opened it on her bunk. No words, just a photo tucked inside. Monty in a tuxedo. Kesha in a white dress. Married. Tina blinked. Once, twice, again. Her hands shook, her breath caught. The picture fell into her lap like a lie that weighed 1,000 pounds. She sat there for a full minute, silent, still. Then she stood up, walked to the phones, and called the one cousin she still trusted. Did they really? The cousin didn't even hesitate. Yeah, Tina, they did. Been together a while now. Got a house out in Min Hill. I was going to tell you, but I didn't know how. Tina hung up and screamed. She screamed until her throat cracked raw, until guards came running, until she punched the phone receiver off the hook and sent it crashing to the floor. They pulled her away, dragged her back to her cell, slammed the door. She sat on the edge of her bunk, arms around herself like they were the only thing she could trust. She didn't cry. Tears. Tears were for people who still had something to lose. The betrayal didn't hit her like a wave. It settled in slow, like smoke in her lungs, like poison in her blood. Monty, her Monty, had not only left her, he'd replaced her with her own sister. The same sister she protected growing up, the one she used to sneak snacks to after dinner, the one she carried when she scraped her knee, the one who said, "I got you, sis," in every letter. And when lights went out that night, she didn't sleep. She thought. She remembered. Not just the pain, not just Monty, but everything. The way he begged that night. The way he said, "Do this for us." The way Kesha had looked at him back then. Too long, too soft. The sign she ignored. The way the room smelled during the raid. The way he didn't fight when they cuffed her. The way he never came to court. The way he disappeared before the ink on her sentence had dried. From that night on, Tina changed. Something in her spirit hardened. She still went to work, still made her bed, but she stopped looking for letters, stopped waiting on names to appear on the visitor log. She was done hoping, done hurting, done pretending that love would save her. Because if prison taught her anything, it was this. Some people will let you drown just so they don't have to get wet. She remembers the day she married Monty, without telling anyone, quietly, one Tuesday morning at the courthouse. No rings, no family, just a shaky signature, a witness, and a kiss that felt more real than anything they'd ever shared. It was her idea. Monty was hesitant, nervous about the paperwork, but Tina wanted to lock in their love, give it something solid, something legal. She thought marriage would protect them. She thought it would make everything stronger. She didn't know she was signing her name on a contract with a man who would leave her before the ink had time to fade. Kesha said she never meant for it to happen. That's what she told herself. That's what she told anyone who asked. That she didn't plan to fall for her sister's man. Didn't mean to be the one he leaned on. But after Tina got sentenced, Kesha started checking on Monty more and more. At first, it was innocent. "You need anything? You holding up okay? She's strong. You know that, right?" She'd sit with him on the couch, bring him food. Sometimes they didn't talk, just stared at the wall. Grief has a way of pulling people together, like magnets. And Monty, he hated being alone. Kesha filled the silence. Then the silence turned warm. Then warm turned physical. By the end of the first year, she'd slept over 3 nights in a row. By the second year, she'd moved in. Monty filed for divorce from Tina during her 4th year inside. Didn't tell her in person. Didn't even send a letter. He had the papers delivered through her counselor. No explanation, no apology, just boxes checked and lines signed. Tina didn't fight it. She just signed quietly. One more piece of herself disappearing without a sound. 2 years after Kesha and Monty got married, they bought a home. 2 stories, big backyard, porch swing. Monty opened a tire shop just off the highway. Clean name, clean license, clean front, but he still kept a gun in the glove box just in case. Because Monty might have swapped his hustle for a business. But the streets never really let go. He still walked like someone might be following him. Still checked the rearview mirror twice. Kesha, meanwhile, was thriving. Real estate license. Hair always laid. Nails sharp. She learned to talk like money. Smile like opportunity. People loved her. Clients trusted her. But at night, when the house got quiet and the lights were off, Kesha would sit in the dark with a glass of wine and 1,000 stares. Because guilt doesn't scream. It whispers all the time. They had 3 kids in 5 years. First a boy, then 2 girls. Photos everywhere. Matching outfits, birthday balloons, baby teeth tucked in envelopes. They avoided Tina's name like it was cursed. Never said it around the kids. When the oldest asked once, "Who's Aunt Tina?" Kesha changed the subject. Monty left the room. But secrets don't stay buried forever, especially not when they were planted in blood. 13 years. That's how long it had been since Tina Johnson felt the sun on her face, without a fence in the way. She was 37 now, no longer the girl who went down for love. She stepped out of those prison gates with nothing but a government-issued duffel bag and a heart full of quiet fire. No one was there to pick her up. Monty wasn't there. Kesha wasn't there. Even her mama, who would have been the first to wrap her arms around her, wasn't waiting. Mama was gone, had passed 5 years earlier. No visit, no call. No one from the family even bothered to let Tina know until months after the funeral. The only one who still cared was Aunt Vi. Vi was her mama's older sister, tough as nails. Always had a headscarf on and a Bible somewhere nearby. She picked Tina up from the halfway house in an old Ford that smelled like menthols and gospel. "You look thin," Vi said, not taking her eyes off the road. "Food ain't been good in there," Tina said, voice flat. They didn't say much more. Didn't need to. Aunt Vi took her in without questions, gave her the back room, a set of towels, and a warm meal like it was nothing. You don't owe nobody an explanation, baby, but you do owe yourself peace. Tina nodded. That was the only promise she was willing to make. She got a job 2 weeks later cleaning office buildings downtown after hours. Mop, bucket, gloves, disinfectant spray. Quiet work, simple work. She moved slow those first few weeks. Didn't talk much. Didn't ask about Monty or Kesha. Didn't need to. The silence told her everything. One night after dinner, Aunt Vi sat across from her with a plate of cornbread and a look on her face. "You know they married now," she said. Tina looked down at her tea. "I know. 3 kids. Big house out in Min Hill. You got a tire shop now. She's doing real estate. You mad?" "I ain't got the energy to be mad," Tina said. "I just remember." Aunt Vi stared at her like she was trying to read her soul. "You sure?" "I'm sure." But she wasn't. She wasn't sure if she was mad. She wasn't sure if she was calm. All she knew was that something inside her had shifted. It wasn't fire. Not yet. But it was smoke. And smoke always means something's burning. 2 days later, Tina saw Kesha. She was downtown on her break, sipping water on the steps of an old law office, stepping out a white SUV in heels too high, and a dress too tight, laughing into her phone. Hair done, face beat, gold hoops catching the sunlight. For a moment, Tina didn't breathe. She stood there frozen, watching her little sister float past like she didn't leave wreckage behind. Kesha didn't see her. Tina followed her, quiet, careful. She didn't even know why. She just moved. Kesha pulled into a cul-de-sac line with trim lawns and fresh paint. House number 218, 2-car garages, blue shutters, porch swing. Tina stopped at the corner, just watching. A little girl ran out the front door barefoot, laughing, holding one of the cupcakes. Then another child behind her. Then Monty, still tall, still smooth, same walk, same swagger. Only now he had a gold watch and a receding hairline. He smiled, kissed Kesha on the cheek like it was normal, like he hadn't once promised forever to the woman standing in the shadows. Kesha leaned into him, her hand on his chest like she owned him, and then she turned, walked back toward the bus stop. Didn't cry, didn't shake, just remembered. Every promise, every letter, every lie. The next day, she didn't go to work. She cleaned the kitchen, swept the porch, and made sweet tea for Aunt Vi like nothing had changed. But inside, something had clicked into place. Because now she had seen it with her own eyes. Not a rumor, not a photo. Monty's new life. Kesha's victory. And Tina was a ghost they never expected to see again. Monty forgot. He forgot there are some people you don't cross, some debts you can't outrun. 15 years back, long before the wedding ring, the entire shop, before the smiling family portraits and Kesha's business cards, Monty had burned someone. Big Ray, a tall, east side, heavy man, a man who moved quiet, but when he struck, people felt it for years. Back in the day, Monty ran with Big Ray's crew. Not officially, but close enough. He handled drops, collected payments, skimmed a little off the top, figured no one would notice. But Big Ray noticed. Always did. Monty disappeared right before things got hot. Left town for a few weeks. Then Big Ray got hit with a weapons charge and went away. Word on the street was Monty tipped the scales just enough to stay free. Big Ray never forgot that. And neither did Tina. She never said a word to anyone, not even Aunt Vi. She just made a call one night. Calm, soft. It was like she was ordering groceries. She used a burner phone. Used a different name. Used the kind of language you only learn when you spend time around men who don't forgive. He's back. Got money now, a family, tires, real estate, clean on paper, but you know better if you're still looking for him. She didn't say Monty's name. Didn't have to. The line went quiet. Then the voice on the other end gave a low hum. Appreciate it. Click. 2 weeks later, on a Thursday morning, Monty was opening his shop just like always. Coffee in one hand, keys in the other. He didn't see it coming. 6 shots. 2 to the chest, 2 to the stomach, 1 to the shoulder, 1 clean to the face. East Side signature, quick, quiet, precise. By the time the ambulance got there, Monty was already gone, laid out on the pavement in front of his own name. Police said it looked like a robbery. Maybe gang-related. Maybe business gone bad. They had no leads, no witnesses, no suspects. Just another man with a past who finally ran out of luck. Kesha screamed at the funeral. Screamed like her chest was caving in. She clutched her babies like they were all she had left. Collapsed next to the casket in a black dress and shaking hands. People cried. The preacher spoke. But at the very back of the church, sitting alone in the last pew, was Tina, black shades on, hair pulled back, still unmoving. She didn't cry, didn't blink, didn't shift once during the service. She just sat there like a shadow that had finally caught up to the light. No one noticed her. No one dared look long enough. After the burial, Tina left. Quiet, no goodbyes. Monty had taken her freedom. Kesha had taken her trust. But Tina had taken something, too. And in her own way, she finally felt free. Tina left town the next morning. No tears, no goodbyes, no trace. She caught a Greyhound to Atlanta with a duffel bag and a new name stitched into her ID. No one asked questions. She didn't offer answers. Now she lives in a small apartment on the quiet side of the city. No photos on the walls, just books, plants, jazz humming low from an old speaker in the kitchen. She keeps to herself, pays in cash, sleeps with the windows cracked just enough to feel the air move. She's not angry, not bitter. She's done. Some debts, she says, don't get paid in court, they get paid in blood. If you were Tina, would you have held your peace or made that call? Drop your thoughts below. If stories like this make you think twice about who you trust and what loyalty really means, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay locked in, because betrayal leaves scars. And on this channel, we show every one of them. This is Ruthless Realities. Until next time,